So that corner isn't going to work because of where the gas is.
The utilities, yeah. You mean, and then right by the electrical box, we got the outside service to the electrical service. So
Yeah.
we got gas meter, we got water, we got electrical service, we got the furnace venting, intake, and out. You know, we're kind of full of utilities right there that we have to worry about as far as being clearances away from. So our ability to put the fireplace kind of starts, and we got to be, you know, away from the intake on that Bryant furnace. It's only a foot. So I mean, where we can install that fireplace kind of starts from this point down. You know, so I would say, you know, you're maybe right. You know, this would be about the furthest we could push it this way here, because actually the vent would end up going here. And then this one here is the bowl that kind of goes out here, and then this must be the exhaust for the water heater. Yeah, that's the water heater vent there. So.
Okay, this white pipe right here
Yeah,
is
that's the water heater vent. Yep.
Okay.
And then we got that's a heat run. Where do you envision the TV? Do you see it?
Well, you know, I thought we should start with that fireplace and then decide where that TV is going to go.
But I'm thinking just the focal point where you kind of plan on seeing as far as the layout of the room and where you're envisioning the focal point. I know you had mentioned over here. Do you envision the TV above the fireplace?
Probably.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that pretty common today?
It is. It is. And then most people set them right on the ground so that, you know, you don't elevate it a whole lot. You keep that, you know, shelf 8 inches. You know.
Don, what about, you know, where the picture of the ducks on the water is? Could the fireplace go there with the TV on top of it?
Absolutely, it could. Yeah. There'd be no reason. I mean, we got AC line there, but that's going to be on that side of the stud. And our cap can go, I mean, the AC doesn't, the bottom of the AC is down here, so we can be up above that. So we could frame a box out. Normally, you know, say if the center of this was the fireplace, you know, on average, you know, a fireplace is a minimum of, say, you know, 5 feet, so say 60 inches on average, but most of them are up to close to even, you know, 6 feet, which is going to be, you know, like that. I mean, so as far as width into the depth in the room, you'd be maybe 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet wide, and we'd be, say, 16¼ inches deep into the room.
So, in terms of where everything is at here, starting with that point down the wall by the utility box where you say it's got to be on the west side of that,
right,
all the way down to some place in here, the fireplace could go, right?
True, yeah, yep.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah. I mean, even as long as, you know, this is cantilevered out here, but, you know, we got enough space in between that and the ground to put a fireplace cap. So even if you wanted to, you know, if you say, you know what, Don, I'm going to end it here, that'd be too close. Just thinking of a way to get a corner fireplace in, and it's really not shaping up very well.
Yeah.
To me, it almost looks like, I mean, unless we do some sort of separation to create a corner, I mean, if you said, you know what, I'm going to have kind of a living room and there's going to be kind of a sitting area, and I'm going to have kind of a stub wall that comes out to make a natural separation between those two rooms, and we lay a fireplace at an angle, and then we put a TV above it and we pull the focal point to that area.
Yeah.
But I think that, is it fair to say that you'd rather have the focal point down to that end with the view and everything like that?
Well, that's what I thought. You know, I'm open to anything.
Right.
I'm thinking right now, we were sitting here like this, and there was a fireplace over here, maybe it'd be further along here, the TV on it. We can see outside, we can see the TV.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a narrow space here.
It is very narrow,
with this here to there, and you don't. I don't think you want to. You're going to have your couch or chair. You're going to be out here, and then you got the fireplace and TV this way.
Right.
It's almost right in front of you.
Right. Exactly.
You got kind of a narrow space, And the only way to get away from it, I think, is to put it down there just a little bit. But
No, I would agree with that. You mean just based on, a very narrow room here and no separation and really no ability to put it on either one of the short walls. Traditionally, if we could get it on a short wall, that would be ideal. But we're having to deal with a long wall and actually, like you said, create a narrower space here.
yeah,
So we keep it as shallow as possible. We're 13 inches in front of the framing. We keep it on the floor. We don't do much of a hearth, either tile on the floor or no hearth. And then we frame that box up and we hang the TV on it, or we take it up, step it back, and just sit the TV on top of it.
yeah.
Either way. So as far as the mechanical end of it, very straightforward. If we come down to the framed wall versus having to go through the block, that certainly saves a little money. Bust through a block, you got, $50 to bust through a block.
Yeah.
Because we'll hit rebar every once in a while and it's a bugger, or a core-filled one. So, but if we go with anything that's in the wood-framed area, that'll just be, up and out real easy
Right.
installation.
What do you estimate the cost of putting a fireplace down here?
That really would vary based on the unit that you picked out.
Let's say it was comparable to what we had upstairs.
The firebox upstairs, by the time you set it, vent it, gas it, build a base to set it on, frame around it, but you're probably gonna have a framer down here. So let's look at it more of a thought of without any framing, but with gas line. I'm gonna say $3,000 to get it to that point, and then whatever you do for cosmetics above that. Most commonly on a retrofit fireplace is $4,500 to $6,500 complete. Is pretty average.
In terms of energy efficiency, so we've got the fireplace on, is it 85% efficient?
It's about 80. The one upstairs that you have up there is rated at 80% efficient.
Okay.
There's two different types of fireplaces. There's a heater-rated fireplace and a furnace-rated fireplace.
Okay.
The heater-rated, like you have upstairs, has a tempered glass on it, so you're going to be more reliant on a blower to push the heat into the room. The one that has a ceramic glass, which is like a Pyrex dish, radiates more heat off of it. And when you stop back to the showroom, I can show you that side by side. But if we put the zoning down here and you have a second thermostat down here and it's already very comfortable, it's a little bit of a negative to put a fireplace in that's maybe going to bake you out of here.
Yeah.
Because if you put in, for example, if you had a fireplace upstairs that was a very strong heater, well, you probably wouldn't be able to run it very long without actually having to shut it off. And part of that fireplace is, heat, but a big part of it's enjoyment of just watching the flame.
If I understand what you're saying, because we already have a very energy efficient furnace, energy efficiency can be accomplished with that. We're mainly running the fireplace for aesthetics.
Sure.
And
had I not seen the 2-zone over here, and you did not have the opportunity to put the 2-zone automatic in it, then we would have a different conversation.
Yeah.
Because then you have one thermostat on the upper level, and that would be a reading for the whole house. And then when you run the fireplace upstairs, it fools that thermostat into saying we're all happy, and the basement gets very cold. But if you take advantage of that 2-zone automatic potential, and you have a thermostat up and a thermostat down, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can run the fireplace all day long, and as long as the thermostat is set at what point you want it down here, it'll go ahead and turn that furnace on, shut the zone up for upstairs, and push all the heat into the basement until it's satisfied.
Okay. Sounds like the automatic is the way to go.
It is. If you have the opportunity, it's a smart investment, really.
And that would cost us about $1,100.
True. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to do that.
Yep.
All right. Well, anything else here, Don? That
in closing, no. I feel like I'm on a movie camera here. I mean, really it comes down to if you have a designer involved, you start looking at more about cosmetics and,
Yeah.
and finishes and stuff like that, but just in raw mechanics, I think we've covered everything pretty well. I mean, it's going to be straightforward as far as getting the gas there. If we stay, down this way here, or even starting here, the only difference is going to be going through a block or through a wood wall, minimal dollar difference between them. From a heating standpoint, because we're doing the automatic zoning, we're not as worried about that heat going up the stairs, where having a little bit further down here, if it was the main source of heat, it'd be more important because we'd be trying to harvest that heat down here.
Yeah.
But if we're not doing that and we're taking care of it with the zoning, then it isn't as big a deal. It's more about a cosmetic layout, in my opinion.
Okay. The fireplace upstairs, I don't think has a fan in it, somebody told us.
Right. Probably doesn't.
What's
Most of the
it
time-
cost to put a fan in?
If we're here, the fans are like $250.
Okay.
If we're here doing something else, I would put it in for you. But if you're making a special trip over just to do it, you got a service call into it, so probably $80 or something like
Okay.
that. But if we're here doing something else for you, because you're going to need somebody too. When they do these basements, they don't put the finished amount of ductwork in them. So you'll need additional heat supplies down here. And there's probably no return airs down here either.
Okay.
So you'll need returns and supplies, and that's something we can do too as well.
All right.
So, because as I look around, I don't see, well, I take that back. I do see a return here. Unless that's, yep, that's a return because it's piped here. I don't see, this will be a storage room over in here probably?
I think so.
Okay, so I don't see any supply, unless that one's cut out of the duct over here. No, there's nothing.